are the 21 weakest devil fruits with strong users. Starting with this guy, who has a weak devil fruit but is as strong as an emperor of the sea. Katakuri ate the Mochi Mochi fruit, which allows him to create, control, and transform into literal mochi. Now, normally this fruit would be completely useless. That is, unless you really love mochi. But Katakuri was able to use this devil fruit in real fights against strong opponents. Speaking of strong opponents, the CP0 agent ate a devil fruit that allows her to control literal soap. Khalifa ate a Bubble fruit, a Paramecia-type devil fruit which turns her into a soap human. And the only thing that's special about this fruit is that you'll always be squeaky clean. Now, Khalifa's lucky she's a trained assassin because if she only had her devil fruit, she'd be completely useless. But this guy's devil fruit was so useless that even the anime didn't want to show it. Back in chapter 428 during the Enies Lobby arc, you can see Frankie fighting this marine captain who has the wheel fruit, which allows him to turn his arms and feet into wheels, pretty much making him into a human car. But get this, Toei thought the fruit was so bad, they scrapped it from coming out in the anime entirely. Now, later we'll talk about the strongest user with the weakest devil fruit, but for now, let's talk about the second weakest, because we wouldn't have been able to get a mighty Chopper if he didn't eat one of the worst devil fruits of all time. See, back in episode 84, during a backstory, we saw Chopper as a regular little reindeer, but after accidentally eating the human fruit, he was able to transform into a human reindeer hybrid. With this, he was abandoned by his herd and hunted by humans. But we all know Chopper absolutely rocks this devil fruit, and we're all glad he got it. But can you just imagine you're taking a stroll, find a devil fruit that can potentially give you flame powers just for it to be the human fruit and lose the ability to swim? Now, Brook, on the other hand, is quite a different story because his devil fruit, the Revive fruit, allows him the ability to die once and come back as human again. But when he wanted to get back in his body, he ended up getting lost. So when he finally found it, his body was It was bones, dude. He was a skeleton. Now, okay, although his devil fruit doesn't do much attack-wise, he's still a strong character. Just look at his battle with Big Mom. Never fails to get me so pumped up. And speaking of getting pumped up, Bello Betty is a revolutionary commander, which automatically makes her super strong. And she ate the Pump fruit, which lets her motivate and strengthen people around her to rally up and fight with her. She can literally command an entire army to do anything. So you might be thinking, Kira, how is that a weak devil fruit? Well, you see, the only way this devil fruit power works is if the target actually wants to fight. So encouragement is the most the user can do to help. If someone's already made up their mind to not fight, well, there's nothing more she can do. Okay, next up, this devil fruit's considered to be one of the most useful fruits of all time, but there's no way to actually deal damage with it. If we go back 700 chapters to the Enies Lobby arc with Luffy and Blueno on the rooftop, we can see Blueno use his Door fruit, which allows him to make a door anywhere he wants. This allows him to travel to far off places, and as I just said, anywhere he wants. Now that's cool and all, but how well does this do in battle? We all know that he's a CP0 agent, he's extremely powerful, but he lost to Luffy, who didn't even have Haki yet. Now imagine if Blueno tried his door moves on someone with future sight. It'd be over, yet he's still a strong character nonetheless. But this next guy has the most out-of-pocket devil fruit. Quite literally. See, this guy is a part of the Whitebeard Pirates and even fought during Marineford. He ate the Pocket fruit, which allows him to create pockets anywhere in his body. Now, while that might sound really useful, you can carry a sword, a weapon, or even a giant hammer, we all know the Whitebeard Pirates are decently skilled in one way or another, so if a normal person had this fruit, it'd have no offensive gain. But if I had it, I'd just keep a bunch of snacks with me, huh? I have a problem, seriously. This next fruit allows the user to go completely, absolutely silent. Rosinante Corazon ate the Concom fruit, which can be considered weak as it has no attack power. However, as we see in the anime, Corazon uses the Concom fruit to demonstrate its true strength. The fruit's primary ability is to create a field of silence, silencing all sound within its range. This ability doesn't give him more attack power or defensive power, which are critical in life or death situations, but Corazon uses the Concom fruit for stealth, right? You can avoid life or death situations entirely with this. Corazon's amazing use of the devil fruit highlights the true potential of weak devil fruits just in general, and how creative you can be with them. But this next devil fruit is truly weak, because the only thing it can do is turn objects into clothes. The Garb fruit was eaten by Kinemon, a samurai warrior from Wano country with powerful sword skills, but his devil fruit powers aren't all that great. See, the Garb fruit is a Paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to create clothing out of leaves or stones by just visualizing utilizing them. Which, other than getting me some clean drip, it's absolutely useless. Like, the Garb fruit at least allow me to spawn some One Piece figures. But that's where our sponsor, Mecha Japan, comes in. Because unlike weak devil fruits, Mecha Japan has more than 20,000 high-quality products straight from Japan. With great customer service, amazing prices, and worldwide shipping, you can get rare Japanese products that you can only find on Mecha Japan. Like these sick One Piece figures. And they sell products from major Japanese licenses, such as Pokemon, Dragon Ball, and of course, One Piece. But keep in mind though, Mecha Japan is only giving us a limited time offer here. Click the link in the description or use discount code KIRA5 at checkout on orders over $50. And if you end up using my code, make sure to tag me in Mecha Japan on Twitter, and I'll feature you in the next video. Anyway, meet Shiryu, who ate the clear fruit. Well, ate this guy for it. I don't know the full details, but some people can punch through walls, fly, or shoot lasers from their fingers. Next to that, just being invisible might not seem very wow for battles, you know? Just make sure you're stronger, faster, or tougher directly. Someone could probably figure out where he is using observation hockey. We haven't seen it yet, but it's possible. So compared to fruits that let people do flashy stuff like creating earthquakes or turning the ground into rubber, I mean, the clear fruit is a bit like a ninja in a world of mythical gods, especially comparing that to someone who can turn into a dragon too. But this next user is the shortest One Piece character, but they're insanely strong, okay? Don't sell them short. Leo ate the so fruit, which allows you to sew anything together. And yeah, it's definitely a weak fruit, because in what way would you use sewing in a battle? Especially when you see other people with powers that control fire turn into giant animals. So if you're looking at powers for a straight up brawl, the so fruit might not be at the top of the list. But since Leo is a Tontada, he's a super small and hard to see individual, as well as speedy quick, making it so that he can sew his enemies to the ground and to themselves, which sounds disgusting also. But this next devil fruit user is anything but so. For their devil fruit can allow them to change their gender. Emporio Ivankov ate the Hormone fruit, which allows them to control the powers of hormones. I could have used your powers a few years ago. Being able to control hormones is definitely useless in a fight, but Ivankov turns this lame power into a super antidote. Because if you remember back during the Impel Down arc, where Luffy got into a deadly brawl with Magellan and was close to death, Ivankov used their devil fruit powers to heal Luffy back up to full health. So although it's not used for attacking, the Hormone fruit can definitely be pretty useful. But I can't say the same for this next fruit, because Charlotte Gullet ate the butter fruit, which, you guessed it, allows you to control butter. Now, I mean, of course, being one of Big Mom's children, she's insanely strong and skilled, but here's where they show us how awesome and useful her butter power can really be. Gullet can use her butter to trap enemies, making it super slippery so they can't stand up or move. She can also use her butter to stick things together. It can glue her enemies' feet to the ground. These characters are really lucky they're strong, because you don't actually need to be strong with this next devil fruit. The brush fruit was eaten by Conjudo. The brush fruit allows the user to bring their drawings to life. Imagine drawing a dragon to fly on. But you see, that's kind of the problem. When we first met Conjudo, he was terrible at drawing. All of his drawings would fail or be way too weak and slow. But after when he was revealed to be an imposter, he all of a sudden can draw super good. So this goes to show that if you have poor drawing skills, this fruit is most certainly not for you. But if you're a grandma, this next fruit might be. Suru is a vice admiral who fought alongside Garp and Sengoku in the Marines, so she's pretty tough. But as for her devil fruit, it's quite awful. You see, she ate the wash fruit, a paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to literally wash and hang out to dry people and objects as if they were clothes. Yeah, I don't understand it either, but hey, it works for her, I guess, right? Something else I didn't understand is that Shiki ate the float fruit, which just lets Shiki make anything he touches float in the air. How does this guy that was the first ever person to break out of Impel Down have a devil fruit that just makes things float? Well, you see, Shiki can make himself float too, which means he can basically fly. But Shiki also uses his powers to make rocks, ships, and even huge slices of land float, and then drops them on his enemies. They never see it coming because no one ever bothers to look up. So although he has a weak fruit, he definitely puts it all to good use. Speaking of putting weak devil fruits to good use, Charlotte Cracker is one of the 3 sweet commanders, a part of Big Mom's crew. They ate the Bis fruit, which allows the user to generate and manipulate biscuits at will. And when you look at other powers that let you control the elements or have super strength, being able to create biscuits seems underwhelming, to say the least. It's not like biscuits are known for being the most fearsome of weapons, but Cracker actually uses his devil fruit in a pretty useful way. You see, Cracker can create soldiers out of biscuits that fight for him. This means Cracker doesn't have to fight alone, ever. And he doesn't have to be the one to fight either. Cracker can keep making more biscuits as long as he has the energy. This means he can keep fighting even if his biscuit soldiers get broken down, making defeating his weak devil fruit powers annoying. But this next fruit in the user will have you in shock. Big News Morgans is a journalist in the One Piece world, and you might be thinking, hey, he's just a big bird, he's not powerful. Wrong! Look back to episode 957 in the anime. While debating what the headline for the newspaper, Morgan's office was infiltrated by a Cypherpole agent, threatening him to not put out the story he was working on. But what happened next shocked all One Piece viewers, because he straight up 1-2 Mayweathered him. That being said, you probably didn't know Morgans actually ate the devil fruit, the bird fruit. Just imagine having the ability to turn into a bird.